I still keep seeing these videos of people talking about how the Galaxy Fold 4 is not worth the money or it's not for them, and that's fine. But I certainly wanted to provide a counter to that with my own experience, because in my mind, this Fold 4, when you're talking about just the Samsung Galaxy Fold lineup, this is the first Fold to provide a complete experience. And what I mean by that is it's the first one in the series that I didn't feel easily drawn away from. When I was using my Fold 2, I absolutely loved my Fold 2. It was fantastic. It was a great device. I loved using it. It was just but like I said, it was a big smartphone to me. It was something that I used in place of my smartphone. I just enjoyed the bigger display. I didn't really feel like I got a whole lot out of it than that. And because of that, it made it harder to justify the price, spending all that extra money for just a larger display. But B, there were other devices that were easily able to lure me away to their experiences, whether it was the S21 Ultra, whether it was the Pixel 4 XL that I was using a lot at the time, whether it was the Microsoft Surface Duo, or whatever other device, the LG Wing, whatever other devices that I was using. I felt it easy to remove my SIM from the Fold and use those other devices. I didn't feel like I was getting gypped that much on the experience. Every time I put my SIM back into the Fold 2, I was like, wow, this is fantastic. It's a great experience. But it's a commitment in the pocket. Because it is a bulkier device, you have to be a little bit more careful with it because of the foldable nature and the fact that it is just by default a little bit more delicate than some of the other devices that you might carry around. You have to be, you have that subconscious nature where you're just a little bit more careful when you're holding it, a little bit more secure in your hand, pulling it in and out of your pocket. I'm not saying that goes away here, but what I'm saying with the Fold 4 is that you forget about it because the trade-off is that great. When I was testing the Flip 4 this week, when I was testing the Pixel 6 and 6a for the battery drain stuff, I could not wait to get my SIM back into the Fold 4. And when I've talked about multitasking in the past, I've talked about how I've used other devices, and I've used the Microsoft Surface Duo, and I've used the BlackBerry Passport in order to get my email stuff done. Well, I'll tell you right now, I'm using exclusively this device, and I'll go ahead and pull up my email, make sure there's nothing too sensitive in there. But I am absolutely using this device for the most part and having absolutely no issue with it. No issue with it. I'm loving it. I'm keeping my inbox clean. My productivity with regards to my email is through the roof, and the experience is that much better. And when you factor in the three things that they changed the most, so we'll see the dock at the bottom there. You can see it right there. That's one thing that we're going to talk about in a moment. But when people say, oh, there's not that much of a change from the Fold 3, I really question that and what device that they're using. Because to me, and let me know in the comment section down below, if you used one of these, a Fold 4, and you were coming from a 3 and a 2, please tell me if you agree that it's a wholesale departure in usability from the other two. Because the big thing when I talk about the big three changes, which is design changes, Android 12L, which is the software experience, and also battery life. This, even though it looks similar, it's a completely different feeling when you're using this device. And the first thing that's really different, and what really was the benchmark for me, is I can go an entire day using the outer display only and not feel like I'm getting ripped off for the first time. Not feel like I'm settling for a substandard experience for the first time. Would I prefer to use the inner display? Yeah, but I can get anything I need done on the outer display now, have a comfortable typing experience, be able to send out emails, have no issue pulling up a Twitter and go Twitter feed and going ahead and scrolling through and not feeling like I'm getting a nerfed experience. That makes a gigantic difference in how you feel about the device. So when you pick this up, this is going to be something that you look at and you say, oh, geez, where was this the entire time? Plus the fact that they've made the hinge a little thinner on the side, so it's easier in the pocket. And don't discount things like feel in the hand. The fact that they made it wider and a little shorter, and it's a lot more secure in the hand, is an easier hold, getting in and out of your pocket, just using it on a daily basis. It doesn't feel as top heavy, doesn't feel as tall. These things build up over time. Because you may think, oh, well, it's fine now and you're using it and stuff. But these design decisions, when you're pulling it out of your pocket 100 times a day, when you're using it 5, 6, 7, 8 months down the line, a year down the line, are you going to tire of it? This is a device that I don't feel you're going to tire of because of the changes that they made. Then you go into stuff like Android 12L, which is exactly what this. Look, it's still expensive. Any phone that comes in at $1,800 is going to be expensive, and it's going to be a decision. But if it's useful to you and it makes sense to you at that dollar amount, then now the experience is justified because it's different enough from your slab devices. Yeah, sure. Could you get a cheap tablet, walk around with that, and then you have your regular phone and not have to worry about it? Yeah. But if you want an all-in-one experience in your device and you want to carry around something that gives you the extra screen real estate when you need it and takes advantage of it, I love the fact that you can go back and forth. You can go ahead, go get an Instagram, go right back into there. Then if I want to pull up my email, could go around, put it where I need it, multitask, pull up chat, whatever I have to do, I can do it. Feels intuitive, feels comfortable. It feels like the OS is actually working with me, as opposed to previously on the Fold, the way you had to cut the screen, the way how it was narrow. You were using every single app that you were using was in a poor aspect ratio for that app. There was a couple that you could cut long ways and kind of get away with it, but it felt like you were doing a substandard experience on the apps that you were multitasking on. I don't feel that way now. And the fact that Android 12L, even when you're just pulling up the settings, you could get kind of a full experience of the menu on one side, the options on the other side. I love the way that the OS handles multitasking, handles the larger display, and it makes a gigantic difference. And when you pair it with the battery life that you now get on the Fold 4, which no one can tell me that they don't think that 6.5, I'm on track for over 7 hours of screen on time today with this device. No one can tell me that that's not a huge upgrade and something that they'd love to be able to use. Because on this device, it's not a device that you want to do less on, like a Flip. It's a device that you want to do more on. So you want to be able to get that much more of an experience, especially, and you want to be using the inner display as much as possible every time you're sitting down, every time you're able to do so safely. You want to be able to use that inner display so you can take advantage of the wide functionality of the email, of the just Reddit, just freaking pull up Reddit. It's just a great widescreen experience. You're just scrolling sports, fantasy sports, whatever it is, watching video. You want to use it as much as possible, so you want a screen on time that's able to support that. Makes a huge difference. We'll throw up some camera shots here because everyone, of all the stuff that people crowed about, that's the one that they wanted improved. Hey, takes a great image. I thought the Fold 2 took a great image. I thought the Fold 3 was a fine image, but now it's even better. It's improved. And you get the versatility that the camera has. And then you could see the grill shots that we have here, of course. And then you have the displays, which are fantastic, and that outer display, which is just a typical Samsung panel. But then when you add the fact that it's wider and more usable, you're getting something that could finally, you're not easily tempted by other devices. I'm not easily tempted to throw my SIM back in an S22 Ultra because I get pen support on the inside of the device. I get a usable experience on the outside of the device, and when I want that big screen experience, bam, it's right there, and it does it better than the S22 Ultra. So before, when you say, well, $800 for just a bigger display isn't really doing it for me, now they've taken care of that. They've rectified it. Does it say, is this going to be a device for everybody? No, I understand why a lot of people are saying, it's not for me, I'm returning it. But if you're somebody who knows you're going to take advantage of this, if you're somebody that owned a Fold 2 or a Fold 3, and you were sitting there and you were yearning for more, for just something extra that would justify that extra money and give you that much more in terms of productivity and user experience, this has now done that. And you can sit here and crow all you want about how these other companies are innovating more, and I get it. And I understand that competition from the Xiaomis and the Vivos of the world would only benefit us because it drives Samsung even harder. But when you look closer at those devices, number one, using them in the United States, giant headache, right? Then you look at the hinge design, which is not nearly as advanced as a lot of these, as the Samsung device is. This is a fantastic hinge. Super solid. Their best one by far. It feels great. It feels there's no weakness in it at all. You like that security when it locks into place. Yeah, like I said, I've described it as kind of a camming action that you could have. They had that display when they kind of opened it up. They had the X-ray vision of it twisting into place, and you could feel that, which each unfold. Really great. Really secure in the hand. You had the IPX, water splash resistance or whatever it happens to be. Not dust resistant, but it gives you a little bit more peace of mind than you had in the past. The overall sum of it And while externally and internally you say, well, it's still Android, it still kind of looks the same as the Fold 3. When you add up all those things, you get a much different experience. And I want to hear from Fold 4 owners in the comment section of this video. Also, I don't know if you still get something. I think you still get 800 on a Fold 2. Link will be in the description of that, by the way, that you could go ahead and purchase one of these. It does go ahead and help the channel directly. But if you have a Fold 4 and you're coming from a previous Fold experience, I want to hear from you and see if you agree that this is definitely a departure and a major upgrade to what you were used to in your Fold experience previously. And for my money, if you're somebody that's willing to pay that for that experience, that it has become finally a complete experience and worth it. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.